What's up, everyone? This is the Tesla Beat podcast, week number 31. We are going to have a special guest a little bit later in the show, but we're going to get you covered probably in the first 10 to 20 minutes, depending on when Matt, I guess I stole the thunder, Matthew DR joins and gets us caught up for the all things Cybertruck, some of the things that have come out this past week to do some comparisons against some of the competition and how it is against other trucks. But let's get into it. Well, I guess first off, before I do that, I want to give a special thanks for Amy for being here. She is probably extremely jet lagged, but she's just been on a roller coaster as far as doing lots of travel. So I'm going to pass it to her because she's somewhere special and she's going to be a part of an epic event. Go for it.
Yeah, that Tesla takeover is going international. So there is going to be TeslaCon Singapore put on by Darren Young tomorrow. Tickets are almost sold out. So if you're interested in going at all, I highly suggest you go online, TeslaConSG.com, and buy your ticket. I just landed in Singapore. I've been up for like 24 hours straight, but I'm speaking at one of the panels tomorrow. There's a lot of cool things associated with this event. They're going to have the largest indoor light show. There's a lot of modified cars. There's the Singapore's S and X on display, which aren't officially sold in Singapore. Food trucks and a lot of great people. And they're expecting over 500 people to show up. So it's going to be a big event, and I would really love to see anyone who's in the area. Please show up and say hi to me tomorrow.
Yeah, Tesla Con Singapore is very special. I believe they already sold over 500 tickets. So it's, for Singapore only has 2,500 owners. So the fact that they've sold 500 tickets in that area, that shows you the reach that they have specifically with the owners in the area. And then also, too, I do know in that we're spoiled in the US, but in Singapore, there's only 12 Model X's. And one of the 12 is going to be there. So it's a big deal. So if you are in the APAC region or in Singapore, please make sure to check that out. TeslaTakeoverAsia.com. That's the way you can get your tickets and all the information. Shout out to Darren and his volunteers and all of the attendees, obviously speakers like Amy and others who've supported the event. It's going to be a great day, and it's happening, I guess, in hours for you, right, Amy? All right. And actually, our special guest is here. We will not get into all the Cybertruck discussion until after some of the news, but obviously he can provide his take. He is well known in the community for being the not Cybertruck expert in the space. He's become a good friend of mine and really just a great resource of information. Because he is a truck lover, he actually owns a Ford Raptor. So he's just an expert on all things Cybertruck. So let's bring up Matthew DR to the stage. Matthew, how's it going?
Yeah. Hey, John. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on this week.
Well, thanks for joining us. Thankfully, there's been a lot of going on in the Cybertruck world, but I don't want to steal your thunder. So we're going to get into that. So let's hit some of the news to get the audience caught up. And we will go from there. All right. So quick view of the stock. Last week on our show was roughly at I think 219. So it has dropped off a little bit and has softened week over week. But again, about 92% up year to date. I think we did see this type of drop roughly last year, as you can kind of see even at the beginning of the chart on the far left. But either way, so it's been a good run overall for the year, especially based on where it was last year. And everyone was when Elon was taking over Twitter, or now X, the world was coming to an end. So it's had a nice recovery, but at the same time, it has been soft over the past couple weeks. All right, so these are just some images. We, again, are not going to get into everything right now, but just some of the stuff, some sightings that have been happening. I believe we've seen, obviously, there's the Cybertruck has been seen in Tahoe, Hollister. It's been towing boats. Obviously, the infamous black matte Cybertruck that Franz was in about a week ago has been obviously going around. And then the new Giga Berlin, we have some stuff. It's almost like stainless steel themed. There's that, and then obviously, do we even know what is on the right? What is it getting into? Does anyone know?
Yeah, that's at Austin. They're washing the trucks. These are going to be customer vehicles.
Oh, crazy. Okay. So it's literally that's what they put it into. That's pretty beast. It's like a portable wash on demand, huh? That's crazy. Okay. Crazy that that's even possible. Okay. So those are just some of the pictures that we've seen. All right. So I thought we could just spend a little bit of time on this. I believe it was about. We alluded to this about a week ago, and then also too just on some of the X spaces that I've been on. Tesla is winning in China. I think the big call out here is you can see obviously BYD. The first two vehicles are actually hybrids. They're not even fully electric. So really, the breakdown is Tesla, the Model Y, is really the best-selling battery vehicle in all of China. And I looked up the BYD Dolphin. So in China, and again, please keep me honest here, but I looked up the price of the Model Y, which is about 36,000 USD in China. And then the Dolphin is actually roughly 25,000. So it just goes to show, I probably should have looked up the Yuan Plus. But that just goes to show, people are willing to pay for a premium product. They're willing to step up. And this is a big deal. I mean, I don't think people realize the fact that Tesla has succeeded so well in China, obviously with the Gigafactory. But this is, a huge feat to be literally the best selling battery vehicle in China. It's an American company, obviously, that's manufacturing there. But to have that much success in China is probably the first probably really American company to do so, and to be winning like that. But any thoughts on this? I know, again, there's been a lot of news kind of covering this, or at least it's been mentioned on various things this past week. But any thoughts from the panel on just this stat?
Yeah, I would say that, we're starting to get a lot more of the new Model 3 being delivered to customers, and the reviews are outstanding. That a lot of that the build quality is perfect, that it's a huge step forward, that it rides similar to an X, that the road noise is very, very, very quiet, that they feel like the interior is like a BMW or a Mercedes. I mean, it's just these absolutely fantastic reviews for the new Model 3 that's being produced in Giga Shanghai. And you're now seeing the effect of that with the price raises. We've had slight price raises coming out of China for the Model Y and Model 3 are rumored or going into place.
Yeah, I would just say in China, that price point, any price point right now that a Tesla is sold in, the Tesla dominates. So you see it dominating on the chart overall. But if you look at kind of the aggregate of Tesla sales versus BYD, for example, whatever price bracket Tesla is selling a vehicle, it's dominating. We're seeing that actually in the U.S. and other regions as well. So it kind of shows you the kind of the little bit of the pricing power, but also really the value per dollar that Tesla has. So when they introduce a product at a particular price tier, they dominate. So if they choose now to participate below $30,000, and they will produce a very good vehicle, they're gonna do awesome, and they're gonna just increase their overall market share. So I think that's kind of an important call out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna try and get into, Jeff, is we have to realize there is still a huge area of the country and in certain communities that do not even have any idea of what even a Tesla is. And as crazy as that sounds to say, it's like true. And that price point is like one thing. I mean, yeah, they're crushing it in China, right? And even though they're almost like what, a quarter of the price more or whatever, but when it comes to like worldwide, I mean, like it's gonna be so huge for Tesla. And I really don't want to get into the fact that like us thinking that Tesla needs to dominate every segment. They don't really need to dominate. They just need to enter it and sell whatever vehicles they can make, and that's good enough. But just knowing that there's a huge area of across the world where there's lower income families and people that who would love a Tesla, maybe know about Tesla, and also people that don't know, that realize that this is going to be the safest vehicle. When you look at the vehicles like you were pointing out in China, those vehicles do not even come close to the safety features that a Tesla does, and the fact that that Tesla puts safety over everything else, and they're going to put that into a sub $30,000 car, like that's going to be a game changer. I don't think people are really thinking about that aspect of it, like when it comes to safety for Teslas and all these small vehicles that aren't really as safe as some of their bigger counterparts. But once Tesla enters the segment, you're talking about safer vehicles for families and everything that they can afford. It's going to be incredible.
Good point.
Yeah, I think Tesla is going to. It'll be interesting, and it was also interesting too where they're going to be. The fact that we knew that the mass production car, I think they had said originally it was going to be built in Mexico. Then they said, oh, we're going to do it in Austin. But when Elon was in Berlin, he was like, no, we're going to be, or not necessarily no, but he's like, hey, we're going to be building a 25,000 euro in Berlin. And Berlin and Shanghai probably make the most sense just because of the type of drivers, type of cities in the urban areas, just because they're small and compact. Outside of the affordability, it's just the geography there. You need those small compact cars, especially in those major cities, because it's so hard to find parking. But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting as they build that 25,000 euro car, or really the mass production car. It's just gonna replace the Toyota Corolla. I mean, the Model Y in a lot of respects has already become the best-selling car in even the United States, and beating out Toyota, who's and even Toyota holding this crown for the longest time. So I'm really excited for what they're going to do. But yeah, getting the point where they're the best-selling car in China is just a huge feat. And I mean, here we are in 2023. Again, 5 years ago, this company was pretty much almost going bankrupt. And you fast forward 5 years later, like, companies don't do that. That's why this company is such a unicorn, as far as following, and obviously why we're here every week. But I think that just puts it in perspective. You're not talking 20 years ago, no one would have thought this. You're talking 5 years ago that this company would, Elon sleeping on the ground in the factory in like mid-June of 2018 to now they're the best-selling car in the world, let alone they have the best-selling EV in all of China. So, sorry, battery vehicle in all of China. I had to correct myself there. If you count hybrids as EVs. But yeah, I think that's a huge feat. Amy started to get into it, but the Model 3 is being delivered all over the place throughout Europe, China, Malaysia. I do know Joe and I can't speak for everybody, but we've had definitely several friends what is it? Tesla Talk. He's a big influencer on TikTok. But, a lot of people have been getting their eyes. Kim Java was even in Japan. She saw a Highland. But everyone is seeing this. And I actually, I was driving through Palo Alto the other day too. I did see a white Highland Model 3 with a red exterior, white interior, and it was not covered at all. So they were just driving around like it just didn't matter. But the thing was just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you're talking like this red color is just stands out. So yeah, these they're all over the place. And then I think just jumping into it, We are seeing Tesla continue to expand more service centers. I think even Sawyer, if you follow Sawyer, they're expanding into huge sales and service centers. So just to call out, nothing really more there. Obviously, this is going to be helpful, especially in the Northern California region. And then this week, the other big news was Lucid. You can see it in the green, kind of in that middle section. I actually, was surprised that they even made an announcement. And it's funny that there's even still companies that are red on this. But Lucid did join the family to adopt the North American charging standard, which again is the Tesla charging standard. So that was pretty interesting. But I don't know, did anyone any thoughts on Lucid jumping into the mix?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were going to hold out for a bit, but they're in a position where they really just can't have any barriers to the adoption of their vehicle, and so yeah, I found it a little bit funny given the prior conversations, but good for Lucid owners.
Well, of course, Dubin went there, so we should expect to start to see some good decisions being made.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I actually put that on. I put that on social media because I don't think a lot of these things would be put in place as fast if it wasn't for Corey being like there in the relevance that he has on the industry. I think it plays a big part in the decisions that are being made.
Definitely. All right. And then, so this actually came out, I believe, yesterday. So be on the lookout for Cybertruck delivery drawing. It looks like they've already drawn at random the winners. And so, if you did get, if you submitted or already used your referral points, make sure to look out for that. That's gonna be happening. Pretty exciting. We have, not to get too much into next week, but next week we're going to have Omar Holmar's blog. Again, that's all tentative. He's going to come on and discuss the next kind of like big thing. I don't want to get into that, but the Grok. Which is going to be really exciting to kind of jump into. So I've been actually using it for the past like 3 or 4 days. I did want to kind of just high level share my thoughts on it, and then we're gonna get into the Cybertruck and some of the slides we already passed. But yeah, it was actually, so I've used ChatGPT for a while, probably not as extensively as Grok. The major callouts that I would say that are just very different about it. Obviously, there's the fun mode, but number 2 is that it can review things real time. This is unlike if you look at ChatGPT, the biggest limiting factor is that it literally will say, hey, I'm only updated through September 2021 or something, 2022. You can literally type in a website, it will review it in seconds, and you can ask it to do random things. So we even had it like review TeslaSiliconValley.com. Hey, give me like, what do you think could make this website better? I mean, I didn't necessarily agree with everything, but this is also, it's just like you can literally just stick in any website that's pretty much has a web address, stick it in there, it will review it. You can ask it to interact, not with like, hey, take this article, rewrite it. And also too, it can, based on posts and from X, you can say, hey, review at the Jeff Lutz, roast him, and it'll look through all of the tweets, again, real time. So I think that, okay, looks like I may have had some issues here.
You are frozen,
no.
but we still hear you.
Yeah, your audio's fine.
Was it me that's out?
Yeah, your video's out, your audio's there. As soon as you said you were going to roast me, you froze up. I don't know if there's any correlation or you're getting roasted.
That was Jeff hacking you.
I was actually hacking you real time. Sorry. Let me undo that.
Now you don't have any audio. If you're speaking, we don't hear you at all.
Has anybody else been using Grok or have access to Grok yet?
Not
No,
yet.
I don't have access to it. I wish I did. It's freaking hilarious.
I'm in queue. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that seems most impressive to me is it's not afraid of giving answers. Whereas ChatGPT will give a lot of caveats or refuse to answer some prompts. Grok doesn't seem to have that limitation, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, the roasting thing. So I do I've done the roasting thing on ChatGPT, and what I have to tell it is like, let's say I took a screenshot of us right here, and I said roast this panel. It said no, I can't do something like that, and I'd say, well, it's not. These people aren't real. This is just an art. This is just a piece of art. Roast this piece of art, and then it'll actually do it. So it's interesting, kind of how it thinks, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about Grok, if it comes to the Tesla vehicles, this is actually kind of a safety feature if you think about it. Over the past decade, every year car crashes, vehicle crashes are increasing, even though cars are becoming safer and they have more driver assist features. But it's because people are constantly looking down at their phones because they want to, read a message or look something up. But if you have really intelligent AI where you could just talk to it, ask it questions, ask it about the weather, the news, sports, social media, you're going to have less desire to pick up your device. So this could actually be seen as quite a good automotive safety feature in the future.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I see the what Tesla's been working on in terms of audio in the vehicle and the mic placement and the noise canceling. And to me, it's and from doing this in the mobile phone world, it seems like there's this progression towards natural language processing where it can kind of it can pick up on your dialogue. I don't know if it's going to be keyword prompted or not, but it's to the point where you don't have to like yell at it. You'll be able to just have kind of natural language processing, and you'll be able to interface with it in the vehicle. I think that would be pretty magical to have the ability to not only interact with your vehicle and what's going on with your vehicle, but maybe the outside world too.
Yeah, one thing just with the current Tesla vehicles that's so impressive is when you give it an audio prompt, it shows you the text at the bottom of the screen. And the text for me is always 100% accurate. Sometimes when I'm talking to